a short change. Usually, a dynamic and live classroom give them understanding about children's condition. But now, teachers have to learn to understand deeper about the children by looking at the screen. In fact, teachers must be aware of children's engagement, feelings, and needs. This can only be done if teachers understand and apply mindfulness to themselves and students. At the same time, children feel the same as adults with this big change of life. It is natural that children share the same experience as parents. Parents, together with teachers, must be mindful when teaching, educating, and nurturing children as they see adults as the role models. By applying mindfulness in class and at home, there will be a sense of us all coming together and we all become better and happier in life. Today, I have with me our school principal, Miss Diana Bhatia, who will share to us about mindfulness for your children, specifically early years children. Miss Diana has been in education field for almost 20 years and been in the early childhood education for 13 years. She is the school principal of Little Ants Preschool at Louis and Wisma Patnam Center. There will be questions and answers at the end of the session. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in chat room or in the comments. Always turn off your microphones to make sure this session runs smooth. Well, without any further ado, let's hear from Ms. Diana.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here. Before we start, as usual in our schools, we will start activities and whatever that we're doing with students with a prayer. So allow me to start this session with a prayer. We can pray in our heart and we can do it together before we start the session. Okay, let's pray together. Father God, thank you for the blessings that you have given to us, to a bright new day, bright sun, and a good weather. But I would like to start by having this webinar together to learn, to gain knowledge, and to be able to apply it in our lives as the parents or as teachers. Father, we ask your blessings, so today will run smoothly, and everything that we are learning here could be very benefit and share this to everybody around us. Thank you, Father. In your mighty name, we pray. Amen. All right, so good day, everybody. I hope everybody is doing fantastic and everybody is healthy, just like what everybody's been saying in the news. Well, today's session is mindfulness for early years children. Thank you, those who signed up today. I've seen parents, teachers, the enthusiasm from you to learn together for the benefits of children are truly remarkable. Well, we have heard mindfulness in these recent discussions and conversations. I believe when you sign up today, it's also because you want to know and because you heard it a lot. It becomes a buzz now, right? Especially during this pandemic situation. Like everybody's been talking about being mindful, mindfulness, compassionate, kindness, and mindfulness, or maybe some people relate it to yoga. Well, most institutions also highlight the benefits and the effects in helping children, adults, and elderly through this mindfulness. Many people think mindfulness is like sitting on a cushion alone in a room with your eyes closed. Do you also think that way? Well, sitting with your eyes closed, yes, it has benefits because it allows you to stay focused. But mindfulness is not only about that. It can go beyond that. Okay. So today I will share a little bit about mindfulness. I'm not going to talk about theory. I'm not going to talk about the brain and the systems of the hippocampus or amygdala or so called about that, because I just want to make it so light. I just want to make it practical for everybody today. And I would like to share some ideas of this teaching mindfulness or practice mindfulness with your children if you're at home as parents or with your students if you're teachers, even though you are teaching online. Yeah, we're doing online, right now. So I will share the ideas, methods, and materials that you can use to teach mindfulness and practice mindfulness to children. This can also be applied for teaching bigger children and also for adults. And I believe it's also beneficial for you. By having this in your class, I do hope, not only in the class, but at home, you, your life, your children, your students, they will be able to control their own self and they will understand the things around them. And after that, they have the feeling of grateful and happy. So let's carry on. So the first questions might come like this. What is mindfulness? I've heard it a lot. I've read it here and there. I've been hearing everybody saying that. Be mindful, be mindful. So simply to say, I would like to take this definition from Uz Afzal. He's the writer of the book of Mindfulness for Children and one of my favorite books when I'm doing. So it is the act of paying attention to our direct experience as it unfolds the present moment and it's without judgment. So mindfulness is the ability to know what is happening in your happen at any given moment without being carried away by it. Mindfulness, it can be applied in everything we do, whether you're eating, you're reading, sitting, walking, or maybe right now you're joining this webinar. You can apply that mindfulness in any other activities that you're doing. It is simply to say, it's just like being aware of the present situation right now, just right now, and to be engaged to that activities at the moment. Because I know like now we are joining this session, but maybe if you're parents, maybe you're thinking like, maybe in your mind right now you're thinking, what shall I cook after this for lunch? Or maybe if you're a teacher, maybe you're right now thinking like, I haven't done my lesson plan. Oh no, I haven't done this. I need to prepare this. Even though you're joining the session, in fact, you're supposed to stay in here, in this present moment, because right now, this one is your present moment. But are you really going to be focused in here? That's a simple question. So many research has concluded that mindfulness has helped children and adults in understanding themselves and be better. So mindfulness is definitely beneficial for everyone, even young children. There's a lot of like research results with those who are in K-12 above, and it's been also been applied in many college, in many schools, not only in Europe but also not coming to Asia, especially those who have been doing like a lot of like testing systems. So it helps for them to control themselves, mind, and also affecting their readiness. So it is helping children, us also adults, to stay calm. Basically, what I can say is like you have a pause button to be pressed for a minute, and then things feel more under control for them whenever they are under stress. So can you imagine how useful it can be if it's really understood by teachers, parents, you, me, and it will be practiced with our children and students at home or in school? Wonderful, right? So before we go deeper, okay, like I mentioned just now, we're not going to talk about a lot of like theories on those kind of things, but I just want you to understand few concepts about mindfulness. And I believe you heard a lot of like present moment, attention, present moment, be mindful. But what is actually the real concept meaning about mindfulness? So the first one is present moment. It means now. It is what is happening right now, not 5 minutes ago, tomorrow, or next year. We always practice mindfulness in the present moment because anything we ever do is in the present moment. Our minds are so wonderful that we can even time travel back into the past or far into the future. But when we practice mindfulness, we practice being in the present moment, which is the moment that we can ever be in. And we can come to see life as a string of moments unfolding one after the other. Mindfulness helps you better understand how you feel, how you are experiencing. It is being aware of the present moment instead of you worry and you relate the past and the future. No, it's totally right now. So what I mean is like right now you're joining this session, listening to me talking. Your mind, maybe one or two of you are thinking about something in the past or maybe future plans. Well, that is not being mindful. Being mindful is you're being able to put your mind here back again in this moment because you want to stay focused. And believe me, when you're doing that and you're able to put back the focus, it is much relaxing for your brain. Your prefrontal cortex brain will not be too much used and it's also giving you a benefit as you understand a lot. So without judgment, the second concept that you need to understand is the without judgment. As we start to become aware of our thoughts, sometimes we begin notice that we easily judge. We easily make judgment in our head. Well, give an example. Maybe right now you're thinking and making a judgment like, is this session worth to be coming in? Or maybe you're looking at the slides and saying, are those colors nice? Or maybe the next thing, I'm sitting here listening, but I still have a lot of things to do. Is it okay if I do that? A lot of judgment in our head keep coming, keep giving us like telling us right or wrong, good or not. We judge ourselves, others, and even the things in front of us. However, if you, through mindfulness, we become aware of judgment and aware of the filter, and we can start to see things as they actually are. So we are really focused at this present moment, what we are doing right now, and that's it. If we can allow judgment to fall away, go away, we can replace it with kindness. We don't do judgment, but we have compassionate and kindness in our heart to be shared to others. The next one is direct experience. We can pay attention to our inner experience. Inner is something going on inside us, the thoughts, emotions, body sensations, and also our outer experience is not inside, but outer, which is like what is going on in the world around us, what we hear, what we see, something that actually is unable to control because it's out of us. That is direct experience that we can have, and we have the control. Which one that we will take it into consideration, and which one that we are going to ask to go away. And the last one is paying attention. Well, everyone, it is a good news that paying attention is a muscle. It's like a muscle. If you are aware that your mind has drifted off, then you have paid attention. The act of noticing and returning back to your point of focus through your sense is mindfulness. If you're able to be aware that, oh no, just now I'm thinking of something else, I'm not focused, I have to go back. That's why in the practice of mindfulness, we have what we say is KCB. It's not KGB, yeah, it's KCB. It means keep coming back. So sometimes when our mind is drifted away, when we're supposed to focus, we get to be reminded like, hey, KCB, we keep coming back. to where it is supposed to be, we go back to the focus. So coming back to the here and now through the senses or through your awareness of the breath, it helps you to be aware of your experience moment by moment. Yeah. So you will be able to experience moment by moment, not just like, oh, there was a time I think I have ever experienced that. Where was that? When was that? You didn't really catch on the very details because at that time you were not paying attention, fully attention. But if you're fully attention, then you will be able to mention in details, like I've been there. Yup, it's in detail. I was wearing this. I listened to this. I was eating this. I was watching this. The sun was like bright, but it was like quite windy. So you know all in detail because you were paying attention, because you were being mindful. The more you flex and exercise this muscle, the stronger it gets you. And it's easier also for you to practice the next time. So paying attention is easy to do and it can be practiced. And once you practice and you become better, it will be a habit. So now the question is, why is this so important for children? Well, mindfulness brings curiosity. Good news is, children, they love being curious. You agree with me, right? Children, students, they like being curious. Not only children, us too. So it brings curiosity, it brings awareness to children. You might be surprised how students can learn if they are curious and aware. They are so self-motivated. They want to know more. They will ask a lot of questions until sometimes teacher or mothers usually say, or parents usually say, oh my, stop asking questions, that's too much. They are, they do many things when they're being curious and even they dare to try new and challenging things. So don't miss this part because it can bring children's curiosity. Well, children only need to pay attention on purpose. We need to tell them, pay attention because I'm going to tell you about it. Pay attention because we're going to breathe in to let the oxygen go inside. They need to know why they need to pay attention. I believe you guys also gonna need this too once you enroll on something or doing some job. Children, so the same thing. They need to pay attention, but based on purpose or a goal, but it has to be done with little friendliness. It helps children to focus on what is happening right now in order to be able for them to reach the goal and feel the purpose. Well, by doing this, we must highlight the kindness in the process. We teach the children to be kind. We teach compassionate. We teach them to help others. Now, being mindful is just like about ourselves. No, it's about your surroundings and being kindness too. Mindful awareness means being aware with kindness. It is about being engaged in everyday life. It's not only about you. You choose to be nice to yourself and others in the present moment, and you're bringing an open awareness to all moments. You spread it to others, even though those moments may be pleasant, neutral, or maybe unpleasant. The next thing is the good news. It helps children to sit still. As children learn how to self-regulate, there's been a lot of like research, a lot of like ideas on how this mindfulness can help children to self-regulate themselves, bringing their emotions, body control. Mindfulness is about slowing your body. Give yourself a break. For adults, we say that. But for young children, it doesn't really matter actually if they are about sitting and staying still, especially if in our schools we're talking about preschool age. We can't really force them to sit still for 5 minutes or more. The focus is not about that, but the focus is more for them to be aware of their body, slow their body, to understand how this mindfulness is being practiced. It's okay for young children to walk, move around, or however they shall do the activities, but with deeper meaning. We're going to talk about deeper meaning and how to do it later on. So mindfulness helps to executive functioning, yeah, because it helps to regulate. Just now we talk about self-regulation. That regulates it goes from your emotions to body control to their thoughts, and it's also helping them to grow their brain. It doesn't have, children usually when they're emotionally breakdown or very tantrum, they like to kick, they like to throw big tantrum or bad tantrum. We teach them about how to regulate that, how to control yourself, and it's good thing this is lead to executive functioning as they grow. There are a lot of research that see the impact of mindfulness to children's academic skills and non-academic skills, behaviors and emotions of children. Just now I say that there's a lot of research, and also schools has been using mindfulness, especially for those who use testing systems. It helps them for children who are doing tasks. They're taught how to regulate themselves, control, practice breathing, mindful, and be positive when they're doing the task. It helps the scores and the results are getting better with it. Well, the next questions I know. So it's good for children. How about for adults? Why? Why do I have to do that? Maybe for teacher we're thinking why do I have to apply this? Well, children are smart cookies. You agree with that, right? They quickly catch on to whether or not something is fair. They see through the hypocrisy of being asked to do something that their parents or teachers are not doing. And they will say, why do I have to do that? Miss, you did not do that. But you're not doing that, mommy, but you're doing this. Kids are very smart. They know. They can tell. Why do I have to do that while you don't do? So you are the role model. You have to do it. The next thing is why mindfulness is good for adults. Well, you need it. Parenting is tough, right? Teaching is also tough, right, teachers? Especially this pandemic, during online learning, and with this situation. So everybody actually need it, not only teachers and parents, sorry, everybody. Because it can be beneficial for all. And the more you understand mindfulness through your own practice, the better able you will be able to introduce to your students or your children. And you will know what helps your mindful awareness to flourish and what hinders it. So you know what's good and what's not good. So there is no right and wrong in the mindfulness practice. Remember, it's without judgment. Mindfulness is without judgment. So there's no right and wrong. It might work on you. It might not work on me. One activity could be good for this child, but maybe it doesn't really feel good for that child. So it's without judgment and we never know. But we need to make a note which one is flourishing, which one is that is needed to be deleted, which one is causing a hinder. And the last one, as you begin to feel the benefit of mindfulness, your calmer and more focused attitude, you will have a calm and focused attitude. It will motivate and influence your children. If you're teachers, you will influence your parents too. If you are a mother, you will influence your husband. If you're a husband, you will influence your mom, your wife, or maybe other family members. And you might find yourself better able to respond rather than react when you encounter difficulties. You don't right away say, when somebody is asking your questions and you react by saying, oh, no, it was not me. You are giving a lot of big reactions, but you will think first. You will become calm. You will stay focused with what is the question. So, and that's why mindfulness for adults, I totally agree. And I totally love to share it with you. So now applying mindfulness, how is it going in the classroom or maybe at home? So remember, when we practice mindfulness, there are always many things in the present moment. Let's say talking about right now, in the present moment. Right now is present moment. Right now, some of you might think about, oh, what am I going to eat for lunch? Oh, what's the discount that I have in Grab? Maybe what will I order? Or what should I do after this? Should I change my clothes? What time should I go home? A lot of like questions, even though right now, present moment, we're talking about quality of attention. So amazing of the brain. Children experience the same things, parents and teachers, but we can choose what to pay attention. For example, what we are seeing, what we are feeling, what we are thinking, the sensation of our breath, or other bodily sensations. The main key alongside the object of our attention is the quality of our attention. Quality. So that is why we need to highlight that we can be mindful to anything. We only need to pay attention. Pay attention to what we can see, how something tastes, how they're feeling. Let's do a trial. Let's see this flower for 1 second of 60 seconds, 1 minute of 60 seconds. See the color of the flower. See these flowers. Put your eyes on it. Look closely. Each of the petals, the stem, how many petals. Maybe you can smell the thing, how it smells. Maybe you can think of where it grows in the garden. Maybe you can see the other colors. Maybe you can see it in the garden with the other color. Take a moment to look at this, and you can take a deep breath. Some colors of the flowers might be together. Some colors of the flower might be not together. The stems might be green, light green, dark green. The petals might be red, could be other colors. So when you're looking at the flowers, only 1 minute 60. But you notice sometimes your mind is not there, right? I believe there is around 1 second, 2 seconds, or maybe 5 seconds. Your head is not thinking about the flower. Your head might be thinking about something else. Zip, something comes out. And you try to go back again when I talk about it. So I bring you back to your focus. I bring you to KCB, keep coming back. But if not, then you will be drifted away. So this is also happening in the classroom when we are teaching mindfulness to children. Even we don't say mindfulness, when you're teaching children in the classroom or teaching your students, what age is it, they have the same tendency. Their mind drifted away, and you need to bring their focus again. And that's what it's all about. Mindfulness. Bring it back again. So let them stay focused for a longer period of time. In anxiety and kindness, I just want to stress out that right now students, they face incredible stress and competition nowadays. Agree? Yeah, competition. And one thing that can help them overcome it is through kindness. The ability to be kind to themselves and others, it will help children to navigate through the challenges of life, and it will cultivate kindness to be spread to others. Kindness can reduce anxiety. Kindness brings happiness. And anxiety is right now is everywhere. Every minute we have anxiety. It's not only children, but adults. So if we think that it's only us adults, no, children also have anxiety. They are feeling afraid of didn't get a star. They're afraid that the teacher's not happy, mommy is not happy, I cannot do this work, I'm going to fail in the test. Wow, there's a lot of anxiety. But we can teach them to face this anxiety. And it is only through kindness, spreading kindness for them and let them share this kindness. And the last one is planting the seed. Remember, applying mindfulness means also planting the seed. Practicing mindfulness should be without expectations, parents and teachers. Don't put expectations. We have to understand that some children will take to it, while others won't. Like I say to you, this might work, but that might not work. The timing is not always right. Maybe today is not the time when they get the concept. But when it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it's a failure. Please don't think it's a failure. You just try one time and you say it doesn't work. Remember, our role, parents, teachers, is to plant the seed to children so they have the understanding and love to mindfulness. Many teachers ask me how to explain mindfulness to children, especially young children. Well, I love to do teaching mindfulness is like bell. I always keep a bell with myself. I teach them listen to a bell as long as you can. When you listen to the bell, that means you are paying attention closely. You notice the sound, the ring of the bell. That is being mindful. Very simple like that. For young children, I explain with bells. But bigger kids is very easy. We can tell them it's about paying attention to what I'm telling to you, what I'm talking, your mom is teaching you. That's about that. Mindfulness starts with breathing. So let's do a practice of breathing, but it's not just like a breathing of like, no, mindfulness starts very simple with breathing. So you take a seat. Remember your feet, it has to touch the floor. Okay, you feel your back straightening and you close your eyes, or maybe you just lower your gaze. Place one hand on your belly, okay? And then you have to notice. You can teach this to children. As you breathe, the belly rises. And when you breathe out, the belly falls back down. But we teach children and we teach ourselves to breathe in and breathe out with mindfulness. So as you breathe in, count 1, 2. As you breathe out, count 3, 4, 5. Next, 6 and 7. Out, 8, 9, 10. Next, in, breathe. Next, out, breathe. 16, 17. 18, 19, 20. When it's done, you can gently open your eyes and you can raise your teeth. After you practice, you can ask children how they experience this. What do they feel? First thing that they answer, they will say that I don't feel anything. Oh, I cannot breathe. I'm almost dying, man. You know, those kind of like expression from them. So hard to breathe. Right. But that's just let it be. Whatever that they are giving you, the feedback that they're giving you, just take it. No judgment, remember? We don't give judgment to whatever that the feedback they're giving to us. And then
Kita udah
you can
kerja
remind
sama
them
kan
that
jadi tahun loh sama dia loh.
Enggak kan mumpung ingat
Bukan ingat karena lagi nggak bisa tidur.
okay, we go back. Sorry for that. So you can remind them also that it's okay if their mind wanders during their practice, and please encourage them to come back to their breathing. So practice breathing. It doesn't mean that you can judge. No, do not judge yourself if your mind drifts. The act of noticing is mindfulness itself. Okay, the more you notice, the stronger your mindfulness muscles become. We think that it's just breathing. What's the function? Well, that's the basic thing that we need to understand about mindfulness. If it's just a very simple thing, we are unable to do that. It's getting hard to understand the concept and the meaning of it. There's a lot of like ideas for this breathing. The Calm Classroom is one of my favorites. You can take a look of their ideas. They have snake breathing, ocean breathing, rainbow breathing, or high five breathing. So if you're thinking like, I'm in an online class, how can I do this? So you just tell the kids, okay, let's do high five breathing. Give me your hand. When I put my hands up, that means you have to take a deep breath. And when I stop here, you have to stop. Hold your breath. And when I let down, let the breathe out. Let's breathe in, stop, let's breathe out. It doesn't take long. It takes 5 minutes in maximum. But when we practice this with kids, whenever they are having a difficulty, anxiety, we teach them, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Then they are able to control their breath. And the good thing and the fact is, more oxygen give us more thoughts and our brain more capability to think clearer, to control our emotions, to have a better action rather than reaction. If you're also saying that, oh my, there's a lot of things that I have to search. Well, usually very simple. If you have origami paper like this, you can ask your kids to take a deep breath with you, blow it out. Whoa! Let's do it one more time. Sorry. Blow it out. Or while you're playing with your kids, I have an origami. It's a square. What can I make with this? Sometimes we teach them about shape, right? Oh, I know. I can make a triangle by folding it into two. It's a triangle. And the trick that I like to use is I use the long one to breathing. So I tell them, oh, now it's a triangle. Let's do some breathing together. When I do like this, it's breathing. When I go down, it's breathing out. Are you ready? Let's be children. It doesn't take long. Together with the triangle activity, maximum is 5 minutes. Or maybe if you have like yarn, I just happen to have yarn at home. Maybe you can use yarn too. Oh, and then you can cut as long as the breathing you want. Let's say you want the breathing is so short, you just cut it short until here. If you want to have a long breathing, you just do until here. So you tell the kids that I have a yarn. What can we do? Oh, I know. Maybe we can breathe. Oh, that's fast. Let's do it a little bit slower. That's slow. Can we do it one more time? Slow. Or the funny thing you can do with this also, you tell them, if you have a yarn at home, let's take a deep breath to blow it out very far. Ooh, I can blow it far. Oh, kids, they're going to be very excited because they want to blow it harder and harder. So they breathe in very deep. Good news is, practice breathing, good for your brain. The next thing is you're thinking, so breathing on the piece of cake, Miss Diana. Well, there's a lot of ideas. You can do flamingo walking. Well, flamingo walking doesn't mean that you do flamingo movement, but you teach them that stand like a flamingo. Think of it that you are a flamingo. Your neck, your body, your legs, they are all flamingo. Can you feel your flamingo body, your flamingo feet, your flamingo neck? Close your eyes, stand still, and you can try to put one leg up like a flamingo. Wow, look at that. We're a flamingo now. Now let's move the leg down, left leg down. and put your right leg up. Ooh, ooh, as a flamingo, you feel something wobbly. Did you notice that? You are feeling wobbly. You are now a flamingo. Let's try to move a little bit to the right. Let's move to the right. This activity with a clear guidance from teachers or parents at home can give them ideas and fun and interesting things to know about mindfulness. I have a book in here. It's my favorite book all the time about mindfulness. There's a lot of book about mindfulness, about feeling, but this book is about happy. So I've recorded for you. So here it is.
Happy, a children's book of mindfulness by Nicola Edwards and Katie Hickey. Mindfulness is all about connecting with ourselves and the world around us. Let's take a journey together to discover some simple steps on the path to mindfulness. Real life is right under our noses. We can miss it by rushing around. But stopping to smell life's sweet roses is where true happiness can be found. Listen. When we're still, there is space then to listen to the sweet song of wind in the trees, the gruff rumble, cars in the distance, or the whisper of rustling leaves. Now, take a moment to stop and really listen to the sounds around you. Feeling. Even the darkest storm passes. The sun can't shine bright every day. We can sit with our feelings and notice how they roll through us, then blow away. Now, what kinds of things make you feel happy? Relaxing. It's not just our minds we get trapped in. Our bodies can feel tension too. We can loosen our limbs when that happens. Like the sun from the clouds, we break through. Now, let's try tensing up all of your muscles and then relaxing them one by one. Tasting. Whether hot, salty, sweet, or sour flavor, we taste and we chew and we feel. If we slow when we eat, we can savor the deliciousness of every meal. Now, do you notice different textures and flavors when you chew your food slowly? Touching. Touch calms the wildest emotions. We connect to the world all around. When we dip our toes into the oceans, or crunch crisp golden leaves on the ground. Now, close your eyes and see if you can tell what things are just by touching them. Next, discovering. Exploring is one of life's pleasures. Spot a penny, a shell, or a rook. The world's brimming with curious treasures for the people who take time to look. Now, look all around and try to spot something you haven't noticed before. Did you get it? Awesome. Smelling. When we're all tangled up in our worries, the cool air gets us grounded again. Wood smoke through the sharp tang of pine trees, or the freshness of earth after rain. Do the things you can smell make you feel anything or bring back any memories? Loving. The warmth of a hug can work wonders. Being happy is something you feed with a smile or a touch or a kindness. Even the tallest tree grows from a seed. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you given someone a smile or a hug today? Let's give one. Appreciating. It feels good to give thanks at the day's end for the pink blushing sky overhead, a hot meal, comfy shoes, or a good friend, and the warmth of a soft, cozy bed. So, what good things have happened in your world today? Breathing. We breathe deep and expand like the galaxy. We breathe out many thousands of stars. And if ever we start to feel panicky, this reminds us of just who we are. Take a deep breath. Hold it for 2 seconds. And then breathe out very slowly. How do you feel? Happiness. Real life is right under our noses. It's what's here, not the future or past. Every day is a fresh new adventure. Now we'll live in the moment at once. So, how can you be more mindful each and every day? Dear I hope you like the story and you feel mindful and happy inside.
All right, so that's some ideas that you can use of like a book. There's a lot of books about feelings, emotions that you can teach your kids about that, and you can relate that also to mindfulness. The other ideas that you can use is also this, eat like a scientist. Sometimes when we are feeding the kids or we are asking the children to eat or during snack time teachers, we can do this. We can ask the kids to do this. Let's be a scientist. Let's investigate how your food actually looks like. I don't have food right now in here, but just pretend. Let's see. Look, what color is it? What shape is it? What else can you notice? Let's imagine that you are using a microscope. Look it very closely. Can you see any patterns or lines on your food? Some food have patterns. They may say that it's a line, it's a square, it's a box. Then after that, you let them explore. Okay, let's explore the textures. You can touch, you can look. Is it squishy or dry, gooey? How does it feel when you touch? Kids like to exaggerate, right? When it's dry, they will say it's sticky. When it's sticky, they will say dry. Remember, no judgment, but somehow when they made it something it doesn't make sense, you have to correct them. Let's say they say that it's Indonesian traditional food that is like quite sticky rice. Then they would say it's dry. Then you say that when you touch it, do you feel that your fingers stick there? Yeah, I mean, well, that's what we call as sticky. You teach them. It's true without judgment, but whenever there is not right, we have to fix them. Okay. Then you tell them, okay, let's put it under your nose and smell it. How does it smell? and then ask them to eat, and ask them to use their scientist spot, explore further. How does it feel in your mouth? You can ask them the shapes, the textures, how is it? And after that, when they chew and they swallow, you ask them back again, how is the taste? How is the texture that what you see? Well, this is a simple practice of mindfulness. Bit by bit, they become aware of very simple things. Dance, get some moves. Just now we do like flamingo walking. You can do other dance, but you tell them like, sometimes when we dance, we forget to tell them that we are standing up with our feet down. Can you feel your toes over there, down there? Ooh, tap, 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 tap. I can feel the cold of this flooring for me. How about you? And they would say, no, miss, my house is a bit warm today. So they could tell about that. It gives them feelings. Not only that, you can do also games, teaching about color, vocabulary, be mindful of something next to you, anything with the color of orange. Can you go and find it? And then doing craft as well. When they do craft, you can talk about it. Now, can you see the colors of the orange? Okay, can you see the color on the pattern over there? When we do cut, how do you feel? It's just like giving them a sensations and understanding that bit and be slower and be in that present moment. All right. So what can parents and teachers do? So here, definitely you're going to have to practice mindfulness. It's impossible. You keep saying, be mindful, children. Well, you yourself, you don't practice it. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to me, but you're not paying attention to your student or your children. Doesn't make sense. Focus what is happening right now. All right. Then let children, students stay focused with activities being interrupted. Sometimes we
Masuk ya?
we usually put the children or our students be busy doing something, but then we are so busy letting them and talking to them until they are interrupted. Such as, like, for example, they love coloring, they will do painting and coloring, but then we tell them that it's public, please stop, it's already been like 20 minutes that you've been coloring. Well, actually you're staying focused while coloring or painting. So sometimes it's okay to let the children stay focused with the activities without being interrupted. The next thing is read a book or do activities to children to inspire mindfulness. Do some activities with them. And the last one is just have fun with the kids without judgment, remember? Nobody is telling you it's right or wrong. So all you have to do is you just do it and have some fun with them. Teachers, remember, you can raise curiosity. Teachers, parents, raise the curiosity by asking questions and develop imagination. Imagine you are a flamingo. Imagine you are flying up high with your leg, one leg up. So it's imagination. Imagine you are a scientist. You're going to taste the food. Those kind of activities will lead the children to understand mindfulness, practice, and apply it. Well, I'm going to close this session. Oh, it's already 1 hour. So this is a quote by Matthew Ricard. He's a French writer. Now he's a Buddhist monk. He's been called and known as the happiest man on earth. So he says like this, understand that just as a bird needs 2 wings to fly, you must develop wisdom and compassion simultaneously. He suggests that we see mindfulness as 2 wings of a bird. 1 wing is a wisdom or awareness of our experience. The other wing is compassion or kindness, which we respond to our experience, the first one. Both of these are needed for the bird to fly. Both are needed for mindfulness. As best you can, keep in mind of these 2 wings of the bird so you understand that it happens, mindfulness happens with a wisdom or awareness of experience, and compassion or kindness with which we respond to that experience. That's all for today. Thank you for joining. I hope it inspires you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Diana, for the session. I believe it was surely a very powerful one about mindfulness, and they can surely be applied in our daily lives for both teachers and parents. And now I would like to read the questions from the chat rooms that we've got so far. We have this question from Mona Lisa Instead. The question is, can we teach mindfulness to children by online? Will it work effectively?
Yes, can we teach mindfulness to children by online? Will it work exactly? Yes. We are able to do it online. Like I mentioned, you can do it everywhere and anywhere. There is no judgment, effective or not, right? So effectiveness, if we say about effectiveness, there should be a certain numbers of research over there. But if we see the result of the children being able to focus, we can see that it's working. When we see that the children are able to regulate their emotions, controlling themselves, and being able to stay focused with your teaching online, it means it's working. Because we have in here no judgments of like, hey, you're doing good with mindfulness, 100 for you. No, we don't do that. Some children do well, some children don't do well. But the most important thing is we apply it first as a teacher. We influence them, we motivate, we share, we practice in the classroom. You know, children, your students look up to you teachers a lot. So definitely they will say that, hey, my teacher is doing practice reading. And they will do it too at home. And when they are feeling nervous, stressed out, one way out that they do in the beginning, they will take a deep breath, let the head be invited with oxygen, controlling mind, and being able to answer questions. Well, I say that you should try it online. It's good.
Wow. Okay, thank you, Miss. Now, this is the second one from Miss Eva. She asked, what should we do? What do you do if some children or a particular child refuse to join the activity?
What do you have to do if there's a who doesn't want to join the activity? Who doesn't want to join the activity, right? So like we say, we don't force the children, okay? The next thing is we are not going to force them, like asking him or her, come on, you have to. But we are inspiring them, give them example. Maybe today he doesn't join. Maybe the next day he doesn't join. If the next day he doesn't join, then we will keep inviting. The next thing that you have to understand is maybe the activity is not interesting enough. Maybe it's too, sorry to say, maybe it's too boring. He just needs something different. Maybe you just want to get it more advanced. It could be that way. So it's good that you can have a lot of like ideas, like practice breathing. There's a lot of idea over there, right? It's snake breathing, rainbow breathing. I heard there is also sloth breathing. So it might be fun that you can do this various kinds of activities of breathing itself. With one topic of breathing, there's a lot of like ideas. So try a lot of like ideas, and you don't do one try and then it doesn't work and you say it's a failure. No, you don't say that. But you let it try for a couple of times, and then let's see in the remarks, and you put in your notes, okay, these activities work very well with most of the kids, and I'm going to try it again the next time, but I'm going to do some enhancements. But let's say it doesn't work, then you also give in a note, and then you will say that there's something that I think I can do with it. Maybe I have to hinder this activity because it's too hard, or the kid is maybe that doesn't really get it. So there's a lot of like possibility, but there's always a way to try.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Okay, now this is the next question about how to make the child to get interested in books, Miss. So this is a son of Miss Hanita who struggled to enjoy reading. So according to mommy, he focused more on the pictures than the wordings that the mommy tried to read for him.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So how do you let your kids love reading, especially read the words itself, right? Number one, you have to love reading as a parent. Number two, you give examples of reading most of the time to your kids, and you read to your kids too, right? You don't set expectations, right? You don't set expectations. Well, actually, it's a different topic because it's talking about reading. Okay, but then it's because the reading is also something fascinating me. So you don't put expectation like when you're reading to your child, you hope that your child will read with you, but you just wanna read for your child because children see and children think of like reading is so much fun and I want to know. Sometimes when we read parents, what you can do is you can point the word one by one. So it helps the children to see word recognition, and maybe it's one way of a good examples of word means something, right? And that's the next thing. The next thing that you need to also understand is different age groups, also different ability to grasp for reading. So gonna see how old is the child is, and how's the background of the child. Is he more comfortable with English book or Bahasa book? If it's like better Bahasa, then go on with Bahasa and Indonesia storybook. If it's like more common with English, then mommy can use English storybook. I hope it helps.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much, Miss Diana. After hearing from you, there's a lot of practical things in mindfulness actually that we can really apply on our daily life. Even like right now, yes. I personally struggle to really like focus, put myself, the whole mind to really listen to the content of this webinar. Well, I believe we teachers and parents, we should take the first place to really put this into practice so that children, they can also be able to practice this in their daily life. Well, parents and teachers, that's all for the session of the mindfulness in early years today. Oh, sorry, Ms. Jane, are you available for one more question here? What are the tips to do mindfulness activities with children that have limited attention span, likes to move around and easily distracted?
Oh yeah, this is definitely a good idea too. Yeah, this is actually a good idea of listening to the bird sounds, listening to the sounds of the waves, also even the winds itself. It's something that is good. That is paying attention. So it's definitely very good if you can practice that with your kids.
Yeah. Okay. So we sent you the feedback link in the chat room. We'd like to ask you to fill in the link. And while waiting, let me take this time to share the information about our Little Ants Preschool, which is located in Wisma 46 and Fluid. And due to this pandemic, we are currently run the school online. And the school serves children from the age of 18 months to 6 years old, from the level of playgroup to kindergarten 2. To inform you as well, besides Little Ants Preschool, we have Little Ants Academy, and there are many classes that are available online for children above 3 years old. Please feel free to check our website or Instagram for more information. Well, I guess this is the end of the session. We do hope to have learned you have learned something useful for a happy and fruitful life. And me, on behalf of Little Ants Preschool, would like to express my gratitude. We'll see you again in other session of webinar or talk show. Thank you.